Beer in general is a very sociable product. That's the great thing about beer. Brings families together, brings communities together. I think that is, I know for a fact that's what made Pittsburgh Brewing what it is, or at least the impact that it had locally. Iron City Brewery essentially started in 1861. So you had Augustus Hoveler and John Miller. John Miller was a German brewer, and the other gentleman, Augustus, was a banker businessman. So they merged or joined forces to make Iron City Brewery. Struggled early on, did actually phenomenally well in the late 1800s. In 1899, that was the real big change with Iron City. Became Pittsburgh Brewing Company at that point. So there was 21 local breweries that merged in 1899 to make the Pittsburgh Brewing Company. At that point, this brewery was the biggest in the state and the third largest in the country. So we're known a lot for innovation over a long history. We were one of the first beers in a can, period. The first snap top can, that was with Alcoa. That was a local collaboration. Again, that kind of revolutionized the total beverage industry. They were highly innovative at the time. You had the quart bottles, the resealable quart bottles. That was another first. So a lot of really innovative pieces. Icy Light was out before many of the national light beers. Mid-70s, the consumer was changing on what they wanted to drink. We met that challenge. That's our flagship to today. The specialty cans we do, whether it's a sports can or other cans, again, or even the old commercials.
Yelling for the home team and calling for another cold iron. Here's to tradition and to the deep down satisfying taste of Iron City beer.
There were a lot of local people, and people recognized them. Oh, I know so-and-so, because there were a lot of local bartenders in our commercials. So that made it more personable and more appealing and more family-oriented. And the cans specifically, we were by far the biggest user or proponent of specialty cans, as well as Steeler cans, which everybody talks about. It's probably almost every week I get a call, hey, I have some old Steeler cans. And then all of the Pirate cans and the other specialty cans are really, really phenomenal and set us apart from most breweries. It's become such a part of our fabric and part of our marketing that we continue it to this day. Major brands today, major breweries today are very sponsorship oriented. The Steelers, Pirates, Penguins are very, very important. We're looked upon very favorably and heavily as a sports type beverage or ingrained in the sports community. It is funny and very rewarding to hear people, I'm from Western Pennsylvania, I love Iron City. I don't believe you get that from a lot of national breweries. There's just that tie, that pride. You can't buy that. Marketing doesn't afford you that opportunity, but the longevity and the feel and the closeness to the community that people remember. And it's not necessarily the young adult that remembers, they know the brand, but it's the other generations. Oh, my grandfather or my great-grandfather or whatever, he drank that beer. Oh, I love that. Or I never really tried it, I'm gonna give it a try. I had mentioned that this is the best beer in the history of the company, and a lot of people have tasted a difference. It's the same recipe. That has not changed. The processes and equipment have. So we have a control room where our brewers are. Everything is keypad and monitors. There is no fluctuation or deviation in the process. It says it right in front. If you want to dial up Icy Light, grain goes in, water goes in, temperature goes up, valves open, so on and so forth. It is spot on, real time. In the old days, people, the brewers used to go up on the brewer deck, look in the tanks. Oh, it's boiling. Has it been boiling for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 25 minutes? It changes the product. The other major component is the ceramic. That is a piece from GEA, which is from Germany. They told us that's the only one in this country. Now there's other filtration units that probably does a very good or very similar process. That Claramic takes more particulates out of the beer. So when you drink our beer, it finishes a little bit cleaner. It doesn't make it better or worse, but the consumer enjoys it a little bit more. They can taste the difference. What you see in this building, it's essentially the original building. There's been a lot of upgrades inside, but the physical building is the same. All these bricks you see around you are from 1899 or 1883, excuse me. Everything in here has been sandblasted, power washed, and clear coated. It's phenomenal. The look, the industrial feel, again, from 1883, Iron City came around in 1861, so very, very similar period-wise. Obviously, Western Pennsylvania, steel mills, glass factory, industrial feel. This is phenomenal. The steel in here, original. Everything is original. Some of it is stamped with Andrew Carnegie on it, which again has local ties. You're not going to find that in most buildings. And again, most people would have never done this project like this. They would have built a steel building, put all of this equipment in there, and moved forward, and it would have been fine. It just wouldn't have the industrial, local type feel. This isn't just put together, thrown together, hey, put that over there and that tank over there. This is an extremely well-oiled or well-situated and planned brewery here. Innovation is great. Our core is solid. You want to grow your core, but the consumer wants new. They want something that they haven't had before. So our innovation has to be smart. It has to be spot on. Innovation is great, but it is extremely expensive when you miss. You got to clean up your mess. So we have some innovation coming out next year. So we have Icy Light Mango. There is going to be Icy Light Berry. Icy Light Berry was brought out in 2011 along with Mango, was discontinued because all of the marketing dollars went to Mango. So we're going to bring it out. I think it's going to be well received. We are now commissioning our RO, reverse osmosis filtration. It was installed when the brewery was commissioned. It was just never commissioned, that specific piece. So we've already started the process for NAs. Our NA is going to be a 0%. There's kind of two different categories out there, a 0% and a 0.5% alcohol. I want ours to be 0%. Again, I think that's what today's consumer is really, really looking for. But again, coming up with imaginative but creative products. We're very light and very, very nimble here, which we should be. We can kind of pivot on a dime, so we can kind of react and be innovative to new products. I will tell you, the beer coming out of here, same recipes they've always been. It's the best beer we've produced in the history of this company, as it should be. This equipment is world class here. There is none better that you can buy. There's bigger, yes, there's many, many bigger breweries than this, but this is as good as it gets. We get inquiries from all over the world to brew beer for some of the most world-renowned breweries. Now, we have passed on a lot of that. We are taking advantage of some smaller opportunities. There's a lot in front of us just for 26, but 27 is when you'll see an NA from us. The RTDs will be next year, so a lot of firsts for Pittsburgh Brewing. RTDs, a lot of breweries do it, but not all breweries do it. We have never had a bad brew in this facility, and that is not to be cavalier or cocky, that is a fact.
For more information on the innovations shaping our world, visit tomorrowsworldtoday.com, check out the Tomorrow's World Today Facebook and Instagram pages, or subscribe to our YouTube channel.